Greetings, everybody. Here I am underneath my sassafras tree in Bloomington, Indiana, and I have a new tune for you on the mandolin again. Here's a tune that I learned from Jamie Gans, and it did not have a name. He learned it when he was living in Quebec, and we called it the sewage reel because I don't know, someone asked him what the name of it was once, and there was this horrible smell coming out of a sewer nearby, and so he just said the sewage reel. Or it might have been Sue Sternberg, but it got named that, and the name stuck. I was teaching somebody recently, and they said they thought it was the Clog de Pariseau. They heard it somewhere else, and they thought it was named that. I am not a tune scholar. I just name tunes after whoever taught it to me. That's where the tune comes from. That's as far as I dig. So, the tune is in F sharp minor, which is really quite beautiful on the mandolin, and F sharp minor and A. It's one of those sort of secret agent songs. Let me play it for you. So here we go. First part's in F sharp minor, second part's in A. One more. It's a sweet little tune. It's kind of elegant. There are very few notes that don't matter. I kind of did the funny syncopated thing in the B part, which we don't really have to do. So, let's look at this tune. I figure this tune off of the F sharp. I do the laziest person's fingering known to humankind, so I have terrible fingering. I'm not a violin player. Wow, listen to that thunder. The storm is trying to come and threaten our mandolin session here. It's not going to get us. So I start at the 4th fret of the 3rd string on that F sharp. That kind of creepy minor sound. I love that. I guess you could just do 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, 4. That's nice. I actually go for the A string in this occasion. Doing the full F sharp minor scale, or a section of it. So the first section, do do dee do do dee do dee da do do. Let's do that again. So that's the call, and then there's a response. It's kind of a very orderly tune. And a little a little extra C sharp there, 4th fret of the 2nd string. So a menacing beginning and a menacing response. It's very dramatic. And then it does it again. And that, my friends, is the whole A part. There's no more than that to it, which is I wish there were more tunes that were that simple and more to the point and with less fat on their bones. Or not fat, extraneous material. And what I mean is, when I write a tune, I tend to write too many notes. I tend to put in too many extra things that could be trimmed away, and they're unnecessary. This tune, every note is important. There's not a single note, not a single thing going on that it doesn't happen nicely. So we have the first idea, the response, first idea again, and then the conclusion, which is basically not very far off from the melody. So let's play the whole thing together. Do do dee do. Response. I like to throw in that more secret agent sounds. C sharp, C natural, C sharp. Again. That thunder. All right, you get it. So with tunes that don't have many notes, everything, the importance of the notes is increased dramatically. Because there are no notes, you got to play them all right, and it has to be very rhythmic. So B part. Go to that open E string. It's in A. That's the basic melody. E, F sharp. Then climb up from the E on the D string. I think that's how I play it. Yeah, I play it. There's a little. The little rhythmic nuances of this tune are quite important. That beautiful climb off the D string. Throw in little triplets like that too. Always start on the down when you play triplets. Doo-doo-doo. I'm doing a tricky thing. I'll explain it in a second. Let's play the whole thing. And then I'll explain the tricky thing. From the top. 1, 2, ready, go. All right. There's a tricky syncopated little thing that I love to do on the B part. All right, how can I explain it? Yeah, I'm using different parts, different sides of the pick. I mean, I guess it's cross picking, and it's not cross picking, you go cross strings, but it's messing with the emphasis. You guys are probably getting it right away, and I'm explaining myself and expelling hot air for no reason whatsoever. I love things like this in the mandolin where you bounce back and forth between two strings. Mess around with it a little bit. It's just a bounce between the two strings. It's the only thing I can describe it as. You know the tune Pressed for Time, where you do that crazy syncopated thing where it goes like this? It's like the weirdest lick, but it's a very popular, sort of contrived Irish tune. You're basically going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of that idea. It's that 3 against 2, I suppose. Okay. Let's play the whole tune again. F sharp minor, Clog de Pariseau, or the sewage reel. Oh, by the way, if you're bored with learning the melody because you have already internalized it, let's do some backup. Let's do an F sharp minor. You guys, if you're riding out in the storm, be careful, okay? It's gonna storm. Kids riding their bicycles out into the storm. It's crazy. All right, so an F sharp minor chord. You can do it a couple different ways. Probably the nicest way to do it is a C sharp, or the 6th fret of the G string in the bottom, and then the F sharp, or the 4th fret of the D string, and then the F sharp on the E string, which is the 2nd fret of the E string, leaving the A to ring free. That's a nice F sharp. It's a little ringy to have much control over it, so I'm inclined to do a closed F sharp, which is the same as F sharp minor, which is the same as an E minor closed, but up 2 steps. So ring finger would be at the 6th fret of the G string, bar my index finger across the 4th fret of the 3rd string and 2nd string, and then middle finger on the A note, or the 5th fret of the E string. So dum da da dum da, and I like to do a little sort of swingy. I like to muffle the chord a little bit to give a little definition. Now, if we're playing this dance tempo, it's going to be kind of different. But playing it slowly, I like that muffled swing guitar. So dum da da dum da 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 da. Oh no! Wait, what would be the 5 chord? It would be a C sharp major. C sharp major can be made by making a C. You know where a C is, and you just raise it up half step, and then I turn to a 7 by dropping. So dum ba da dum ba da ba ba da da dum da 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 like that. 1 and 5. I'm just hearing 1 and 5. Mostly. I can go 5. F sharp minor, minor, C sharp major, F, C sharp, F sharp, F minor, to an E, leading into the B part, which is in the key of A. Da 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 da. E. I like this E up here. Index finger on the 4th fret of the G string, ring finger at the 6th fret of the D string, middle finger at the 5th fret of the A string, pinky at the 7th fret of the E string. That's a very powerful, very colorful 5 chord, or an E chord. So da 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 dum da 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 dum ba da 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 E7 dum da da dee da 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 dum da da dum da 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 da, and then that would be the backup for the B part. And then you do one little beautiful C sharp major to lead yourself back into that F sharp minor A part. So. One more. Okay, good job, good job. I probably could have described that syncopated thing better. Yeah, I could have. Didn't. Mess with it. Mess with it. Keep your pick moving. I don't know. I think the problem is I didn't have anybody teach me how to do it. I just sort of did it when I was goofing off. And so you'll probably figure it out that way too. Hey, we have a special guest at the session right now, which is the instrument I'm most inclined to play when I'm just by myself goofing off, which is, of course, the tenor banjo. I didn't know how many tenor banjo players there would be at camp, so I wasn't choosing to lead things off with the tenor banjo. It's more of an obscure instrument. I love the tenor banjo. I've played one since I was a teenager. I have this tuned in the traditional tenor banjo tuning, which is a C, G, A, C, G, D, A, and now I capoed it, so my low string is a D, so it goes D, A, E, B. That's my kind of preferred tunings. It's so easy. It's easier than if you tune it like an octave below a fiddle, which is what Barney McKenna did for Irish music. But now we have this. It's kind of this beautiful, obnoxious sound. But it's tunes. Secret Agent Quebec quad tunes are so good in this kind of tuning. tenor banjo is great for this. It sounds straight out of something, I don't know, from New Orleans or something that Cab Calloway would have invented. So when I'm playing out of F sharp minor on the tenor banjo, I have to think of it slightly differently, because suddenly my F sharp is on my 4th string. So because we no longer have a G string, and now we have a high B, so we just have to pretend that 4th string is not there. A little disconcerting if you're used to it being there. If you're used to it being a mandolin, it's not a mandolin. It's a tenor banjo, and it has the low string as a D. It's actually, you sort of think the way a flute would think, because flutes, the notes bottom out after D. You just go to a low D, and then that's all you get. So I guess when I play it in F sharp minor, I'm pretending I'm in B minor. Yeah, I'm pretending I'm in B minor. There's B minor fingering. So you did good. I'm hoping you did good. I'm hoping it wasn't too frustrating a lesson for you. But that's a darn good tune, and I want you to make it part of your repertoire. The Sewage Reel, Clog de Pariseau, or just the tune I learned from Jamie Gans in F sharp minor from Quebec. So remember, when you're playing mandolin, I want you to remember this is a very important thing. Don't hold your pick too tightly. Hold it loosely and keep a loose wrist, and don't plant. We talked about this in one of my other videos. Just stay loose. It'll sound better. And use a strap. I wasn't using a strap. That really helps too. All right, good. Well, I'll see you for another episode of Tunes with Sam on this same series. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. Goodbye.